I was just wondering, just speaking on a personal matter, I read that a media person said that like you've got an amazing voice and that obviously gives you a really good opportunity in the music industry and such a creative soul as well. That a media person said they were surprised that you've been successful. How did that make you feel?
Well, I was curious to know why. It wasn't so much that part of the statement that I found interesting. It was his reasoning behind why he said that, and it was because he said that, I'm surprised you've been successful because you're a queer woman of colour. And when I asked him to elaborate, he said, well, that's really confronting. And so, of course, it kind of, it frustrated me and it kind of made me angry because, I knew that, like I did know that there are people out there that have prejudices. I know that there's still a long way to go in this country in terms of that kind of acceptance, and I know that the music industry isn't exempt from that. People think the music industry is really progressive, but, there's still the same kind of glass ceilings. There's still the same, bias within the industry. So it just kind of it partly was the catalyst for me wanting to write this record, because I was like, well, if you're going to politicise my identity and you're going to make it about that, if you want to make it about race or gender or sexuality, then we'll make it about those things, but we'll do it on my terms.
Go, girl. I was just thinking anyway, that's just one person.
Well, it is, but, that it wasn't just one person. It was one person who put it as explicitly as that, but it was something that I'd heard and had reinforced time and time again. Okay. And it's continued to happen still.
Yeah. Oh, well, in the words of Dallas Frasco, revenge, success is the best revenge.
That's right.
And look, the music's fantastic. I know the Sunshine Coast has embraced you because, you've been coming here for quite a few years. I've seen your name pop up, and I know that everyone speaks really highly of you. So hopefully it's not happening here. So you had quite a bit of a lot of trouble at school with being bullied and that type of thing. Do you write about that as well?
I definitely address it in at least one of the songs, yeah. Because I think, part of it for me was wanting to be visible to any younger people out there who might be going through the same things that I was going through, to kind of give them, I don't know, just like to be... I think when I was growing up, there wasn't anyone that looked like me, and there wasn't anyone sort of talking about the things that I was going through, so it was sort of like a way for me to, to be that for my younger self.
Yeah. Okay, so 10 years you've been touring now. What's been the highlight for you?
Oh, man, there's been so many highlights. And I think, there's been a lot. I think, sort of more recently, I guess some of the most exciting stuff is we just did 5 nights at the Art Centre, and we did a show at the Opera House.
Wow.
Yeah, to preview this album. So that felt really nice to be able to do. And
what you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going to the Opera House. Do a gig.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, really good.
Fantastic. Yeah. And your music has evolved. How do you feel like your music's evolved is more the question from when you started?
I think I've always been pretty keen to experiment with music and sounds and never really wanted to box myself into genre. I think I like to be quite free in my approach, but I think more so than ever on this record, I've really just followed my creative instincts rather than feeling like I had to do things a certain way. And so for me, it's about like bucking those labels and bucking those trends and just kind of, evolving my own sound that's authentic to me.
Yeah. Well, it's a great album, really awesome songs on that album. And having read more about your journey and your story, which is, anyone can get online and have a read about your journey. It's wonderful once you get to know you a little bit, I found that I could really feel it so much in your songs. It's really very, really gets your soul.
It's great. Thanks.
The best thing is to get along to the Imperial Hotel tomorrow night at the brewery to see Mojo live. Fantastic. And thank you so much for spending some time with us today on Noosa FM.
Thank you.
I'm going to play the title track, actually, of your new album called Native Tongue. And Yeah, everyone get on down to the Imperial Hotel tomorrow night. We've been chatting with Mojo Juju, and she's going to be there right here on the Sunshine Coast. This is Native Tongue from her brand new album, the title track on Noosa FM.